I'm a 13-year-old newsboy living in Jersey City. People call me Albie. I like to do the crossword puzzles. One day there's a crossword puzzle that asks for the name of a place, and I figure it out. Newplatz. The original name the Dutch gave to the area that would become Newpoltz. At the time, I had no idea that the surrounding area was home to Sojourner Truth, or that 27 years later, her spirit will call me to the Hudson Valley and I will make a home and career in this region. At the time, there are 9 of us in the Williams family living in a 4-room apartment. My father, George Frank Williams, my mother, Bessie Irene Mallard, my brothers, Fred, Marvin, and James, my sisters, Virginia, Marjorie, and Doris, and myself. By the early 1950s, my father is unemployed, and my mother works for Franklin Cleaners. Times are difficult, but we get by. My father drinks a great deal and consequently creates unsettlement at home. Many times it gets so bad with his beating up on my mother that I sneak out of the apartment and ask a gas station attendant to call the cops. But by the time the police show up, my father's gone. When he stops beating my mom, he looks around the room to see if we all are there. He knows that one of his kids, namely me, has a habit of getting out of the house and to find someone to help us. "Where's Albert?" he asks. As soon as he hears I'm gone, he knows that the police are on their way. We love our father and wish he would be the daddy he was when he was not drinking. A great guy who loves us all. When he drinks, he loses control. He ends up leaving us to return home to Georgia to try to give up drinking. At least that's what he told my sister before he left. On that train to Georgia, midnight train. After my dad leaves, my older brother hears about a program at Praise Church run by the Reverend C. Kimber Myers. It has activities for kids, so we join. Another priest at Grace Church, Paul Moore, is an old friend, Tony Duke, of the Duke University family. One day, Tony pulls up in front of our house in a white Chevy. He has just opened up his annual camp in Ulster Park, Hudson Valley. He wants to know if I would like to come. At age 13, I stepped foot into Kingston area for the first time, almost a Sojourner Truth. That fall, Reverend Myers becomes my adopted father, and I moved from Jersey City to live in his house. That's how I have the family name Williams Myers. The Reverend oversees my education and has a hand in getting me the resources I need to complete my education. When I'm in my first year of college, I meet Janice at a party on the Lower East Side of New York City. She's just out of high school, has come east from Colorado to work in a program for kids in the inner city. We meet on a Wednesday, make a date for Saturday. That Saturday we end up getting engaged. We fall in love. I trained as a historian at UCLA, but before that, Janice and I get married when I'm in my last year of college in 1962. I complete my PhD at UCLA. Then, in 1966, Janice and I trained to work in the Peace Corps. We're in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, with a group of about 60 people learning how to make family genealogies. We have to go among a group of Native Americans and ask if they will tell us their family stories. Traveling on these lonely roads down south, I think about the KKK and other white racists who do harm to us. But I always feel there is someone there with us to protect us. I believe that Sojourner Truth walked with me then. Janice is my partner in my work in East Africa, accompanying me with our 2 young daughters as I do my research for my PhD. Our partnership and marriage spans over 50 years. Between 76 and 79, I teach African history at Carleton College in Minnesota. My second year, an associate of mine, who also teaches at the college, has a visit from a friend on his way to become chair of the Black Studies Department at SUNY New Paltz. At that time, New Paltz is nothing to me. I've never heard of it before, no connected with the place name, New Platts, that I figured out in the crossword puzzle when I was 13. No connections. My third year at Carleton, I discovered that a friend has resigned his position at SUNY New Paltz. The college is searching for a new chair of Black Studies. I applied for the job, go for an interview, and eventually I'm selected for the position. In the fall of 1979, when I first entered the college, I learned that Sojourner Truth had been enslaved in Hudson Valley. The library at SUNY New Paltz is named after her. I realized that when I lived in California, I'd been seeing her name on a regular basis at the Sojourner Truth Recreation Center in South LA. It was noted that she was buried in Battle Creek, Michigan, but I didn't learn her story until coming to New Paltz. When Sojourner Truth's son was sold down south, she found a lawyer to fight the case and get her son back. There's no doubt that her life had a tremendous impact on the culture of the Hudson Valley, from her life to the present. By training, I'm an Africanist, but when I get to New Paltz, I can't teach a course in African history because, due to low enrollments, the college has stopped offering African history. It occurs to me that there's an early African presence in Hudson Valley because it was a route up from the ocean in New York City into the Bay. I realized I can use the same tools to reconstruct history of the enslaved people that I used when I was studying the African presence in Africa. It was amazing to me that Sojourner Truth's story was never taught in school. It's just one more example of how history of the Africans in America has been taught as if history shaped the Africans instead of how it really is. Africans and their descendants have profoundly shaped American history. As an adult, I realized that Sojourner Truth had been watching over me for most of my life. She was with me when I puzzled out the name New Platts at the age of 13. She was with me when my adopted father showed up, when he advocated for my education. She was with me when I get to New Paltz, placing me in the right place to unearth her story, her history. She was with me and Janice when we lived in the West Indies, avoiding Caribbean sharks. She was with me in the Peace Corps, keeping us unarmed from great snakes and other predators. Sojourner was with me when an African revolutionary fighting the Portuguese in Mozambique approaches me and my assistant with a question, "What are you doing here?" with his big gun pointed at us. Yes, Sojourner Truth walks with me still. I feel her. I talk to her. Sometimes I wonder if I am the embodiment of someone she once knew someone who has been enslaved with her. I may never have the answer to that question, but I do know Sojourner Truth walks with me. Then, now, and tomorrow, she walks with me.